Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our regular council meeting of December 13, 2022. Call the meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to offer our condolences to the family of Councillor Doyle on the passing of her grandmother, and also on Councillor Seymour on the passing of his mother. So we ask everyone to keep their thoughts and prayers as they go through this difficult time. And can we get the approval of the agenda for the December 13, 2022 regular council meeting?
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, second by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded, motion passed. And can we get the adoption of the minutes of the regular council meeting of November 22nd, 2022?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Snow, seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary-minded, motion passed. And any business arising from the minutes? There you're on.
Okay. You want to bring that forward then?
Well, you want to discuss that issue with the train? You can.
Yes.
That's in the minutes, I believe. Yeah. We can bring it up and then we can just talk around the table for a little bit.
Okay, anyway, there has been a lot of feedback on the train. Of course, the motion was made here there the last meeting. I guess you might say the train's after taking on a life of its own. And it's a lot of interest shown into it. And so I feel strong enough now to bring it back to council and to make a motion. Whereas there has been much feedback received since the motion to have the train removed by an approved metal recycling company at the November 22nd, 2022 regular meeting of council, whereas the reference feedback commitments of assistance towards restoration efforts be it resolved to delay the removal of the train per motion 22354 to no later than August 31st, 2023. And I so do move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade. Can we get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion?
I mean, I'm in favor of delaying it. I don't think any municipal money should be spent on it, but I mean, if other outside organizations want to take over the fundraising, I think that's great. My only concern is the motion came from a safety concern at the last meeting, and it was brought to our attention that the train was leaning to one side, and I mean, there was no talk of the train for years, and then all of a sudden it was pertinent that we had to address the issue of the safety concern of the train. So is the safety of the train tipping over still a concern, or like, is there gonna have to be anything done to stabilize it until August, or like, you know, that's my only concern with it. I'm glad to see there's people stepping forward to do something with it, but again, like, you know, I wouldn't want it to, you know, tip over and hurt anybody in the between now and August 31st.
I don't,
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, if I can.
You go right ahead.
I don't think the train is actually going to tip over, we say, in a short period of time. Yes, the train do have a little lean on her. I think, Mrs. Town Administrator, there's been some signage and that put on her, we say, and it's put in the, you know, area of stairs. I would suggest to anybody that, you know, wants to get pictures of that there to not go too close to the train, or certainly not have no children placed up on the train to get a picture. So those signs are placed there now. You know, regardless of the other comment that you made there, and you're correct, at no point in time, even, you know, if this gets passed here tonight, at no point in time did we ever say that, you know, like, or nobody in council ever said that, you know, like, we use taxpayers' money. This thing here is one or two things now. This floats, we say, with a committee in place, we say, to do some fundraising and one thing or another, or it sinks. This is the last-ditch effort, more or less.
Anyone else want to speak on the motion?
I have
Counselor.
another question.
Okay, one more question, go ahead.
So the committee that would go in place, it says there's an ad hoc committee of council, but municipalities are not allowed to fundraise. So how would that be organized? Like the town of Carbonear is not allowed to fundraise.
What that got nothing to do with this motion here, is it?
I know the municipality can issue donation receipts, like that's been done in the past. So I guess if somebody, wants to donate, I would recommend that you'd have a separate account, and I guess the names of those that are donating be documented, because if you don't receive what you would need and it's not going to be used for that purpose, I would think it would be returned. But I look to the town clerk if she recalls the same thing, that the municipality can take donations, because I know we've issued
Yes, we have issued receipts.
Yeah.
for
Okay, so they can take donations, just not like have a GoFundMe for the town of Carbonear.
yeah, and
The donations that I recall were from like a philanthropist, I guess.
Okay.
You would
Yeah.
said made a substantial donation for a specific project. They're not like individual receipts of saying, I've never issued small donation receipts. So if there was something set up so that the monies would be collected and then the receipt given to the organization who collects it, I guess would probably be, or the committee that collects it would probably be the best way to go.
but again, we'd have to just investigate. I don't recall ever seeing anything in legislation or anything that says that money can't be donated from
Okay.
to a municipality for a particular purpose.
So we
I
could
can-
definitely check
I'll
into that
double check,
further.
But I'm not aware of
Okay.
seeing that, put it that way.
Councillor Noel?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been involved with this council now here in Carbonear for, I think, 9, 10 years. And since the day I came here, I believe we've had discussions about this train. I certainly didn't want to see the train go, but I was concerned with the safety, as pointed out by Councillor Doyle. And I just hope that the people, I'm very pleased to see there's such an interest in the area. But in order for this to fly, pardon, trains don't fly, but in order for this to go anywhere, we're going to need the same support, financial, as we did for a petition. So I challenge the people out there that I think is great, and I know it's difficult times, but if we're going to make this thing work, there's going to have to be an awful lot of financial support. So if there's anyone got any ways, if this becomes a committee of some sort, I just hope that people step up there as well. Thank you.
Any new comments or questions? Okay. Oh, Councillor Snow?
I think the safety aspect, the sharp metal and things like that, could possibly be addressed, just a small rope, a fence, and some more signage, just to be on the safe side. Anything we can do to make it a little bit safer in the meantime. Low cost, nothing, that's going to be a lot of money, but certainly we can spring for a few more signs and a few things to prevent children from getting up onto it and cutting themselves, right?
Absolutely. Councillor Seymour?
As we go back probably about, what, I'm going to go back 2 months ago. Probably, there was brought forward a price on, and where we could put a fence around it to have it more controlled space. And I remember Councillor Grady, we spoke on it and everything and that, and you bring something up about it also, about that time. And we never agreed. I mean, I made a motion to put a fence around it, but I know everything is put forth to be out there. We needed to do so. All I'm saying is, on my behalf, and as I said, me as my council side, is if we're going to do this, and as a committee to be formed, and now we're going to go about it, we also need to make sure that we put, if there's 1,700 or 1,800 or 1,900 people out there who's willing to keep this town train, I hope now that they get the name put on a place and saying we're going to want this and want that. I hope those people are out there and they will back us when we form something, or the people, whoever forms it outside, say, listen here, let's go for it. Because at the end of the day, I also want to say this much, that we should put a time limit on it. And to make sure if this is going to be done, there's a time in which it should be done. We cannot have an eyesore, we cannot have destruction here, and we can't have something fall apart for the next 2 to 3 to 5 years again stating, and we're going to go back through the same thing again. But I do agree upon trying to keep this train if we can so hopefully everybody out there who's listening to us, they can come forth and we can go out and follow us horse and say, let's go, let's develop something, put this train back here for another 30 years to look at.
Absolutely. Councillor O'Grady?
May as well speak as well. So the committee you referenced, that'll also come back to council for, before it gets appointed, like that's...
Yes, that has to be voted by council.
Yeah, okay. Sean, thanks.
Deputy Mayor Slade would like to have the last word.
Yes, thank you. I forgot to add there, of course, you know, the thinking about the second time and, you know, the uniqueness of this train. This train is one of 2 in Canada. The one that's here in Carbonear, and there's another one in Quebec. And so it's the 800 series, and it's kind of a very unique piece of equipment. So, you know, I just wanted to put that in there, and just to let you know how special that train really is. Now, having said that, I agree with every councillor here that, you know, we got to give it a timeline, and we got to act accordingly. And I do encourage everybody who signed that petition, and it's going to go a lot further than that. I would encourage them to support. It's very well to put your name on a petition to save it, but there's another thing to put your hands in your pocket and try to bring it forward in that regard, because this is our last effort. That's all we can do. You know, like, I mean, it's going to cost a few dollars to do, but anyway, you know, let's hope this committee is struck and everything moves forward.
Okay, guys, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favour? Contrary minded? Motion passed. I think we're on the right track there, boys.
No pun meant.
No, yeah. Okay, we'll move on to number 5, proclamations, presentations, delegations. There are none. I'd like to welcome our audience there today. We have one person there. I omitted seeing you there and recognizing you. Move on to number 6, permits and correspondence. Councillor Doyle.
If everybody could take a look at slide number 3 in their Dropbox. I have to ask if I'm in conflict on permit listing 10129. That's not my school, but it's, like, I guess it's the district, so of which I'm
Can't see how.
the teacher.
Question has been asked.
I can't see how, Mr.
Would you like to make a motion there, Deputy Mayor?
Sure. I make motion to Councillor Doyle on that permit listing is not in conflict.
Can we get a seconder? Second by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed.
Just for anyone listening, it's for a fence, so there's no monetary gain there for me.
Councillor Snow.
Make a motion to approve permit listing 10126 to 10135.
And can we get a seconder for that? Second by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed. Okay, correspondence requiring council's decision. Number 6.3, correspondence received and action taken. You can have a look down through.
I see there that under D, there was an individual concerned about the Pan Side, Pal Drive, Lower South Side intersection. And we had previously looked at that several times for a roundabout, and it was like a lot of money, like over $1 million to do it or whatever. But I had thought, and I stand to be corrected, that we had talked about when you come off of Pan Side, that you wouldn't be able to make a left-hand turn there. Like, I think we had talked about some different solutions, and I don't know if they just got lost in committee or whatever happened with it. But I do agree with this. You know, I continue to agree with this resident that there are issues with that intersection, and I thought it was on a previous Public Works committee that, that was one of the suggestions that had come up.
I think,
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor. Go ahead.
okay,
Was it?
Oh, sorry,
you're right.
Councillor Noel.
No, I'm aware of what Councillor Doyle was talking about there, and I think that came up in our discussions when we talked with the RCMP with that ATV committee we had in place.
Oh, okay, so that's
But
probably
there were
where.
legitimate concerns there, and there were some
Yeah.
suggestions made too as to how we could enhance the safety
Yeah.
at that intersection.
Yeah.
And I agree that we should probably put it back for someone to have a look at, because even though it said it was $1 million, I think every bridge we replaced in Carbonear was $1 million. And it was, not a lot of safety there, but probably this might be something to have a good look at again.
I think where it was too, Mrs. Town Administrator, prior to Ray coming on the Public Works, Ian had said that when they were going to do Pell Drive, finish off that section of it there, they were going to talk to the contractors at that point in time to see if we could address the concern about that intersection in particular. Whether we could do something with it to make it more safer regards of pedestrians and one thing and another.
I don't recall for sure. I know the last time I seem to recall that it was discussed in committee, the focus was more on the crosswalk rather than the changes to the intersection
Oh,
itself.
it could be.
Yes.
it could very well be.
But at the time, I didn't, it wasn't deemed, some of the discussions, it wasn't really going to be helpful. It was talking about putting it to the other side, but it was felt that pedestrians were still going to cross in the same place as opposed to walking right around the intersection. And it was felt that that probably wasn't going to be a solution because, it's fine to put a crosswalk there, but people typically will try to take the shortest route. So, but I don't recall it really going much further than that. It was, I don't recall much discussion after, so it probably would need to go back for further review.
If I may.
Councillor
Something
Seymour.
I could,
If I can recall the last meeting that prior to the one Mr. Noel coming on, we did discuss a few things, but it was something that was going to be discussed as we extended the Powell Driver situation. We were talking about putting sidewalks and everything down to slow in the traffic, to narrowing the road like we do going down Water Street and everything, so we can slow the traffic in. The more we slow the traffic in, the better chance that we got to someone crossing it and they'll get hit. And we also looked at that island and that there for the guys that were lighting, the way the light and everything is there. But the stuff that we looked at, there was nothing brought forward for the guys that are going any further with it, until the infrastructure part of it, we go further with that.
Yes, and now that Councillor Seymour mentions it, I do recall that our director did indicate that there may, you could possibly look at, I guess, some other curb and that to try to, again, that would force traffic to slow down before they got there. But
was
again,
discussed.
it would slow traffic to make it a bit safer, but there was no, significant changes.
No.
But again, you probably should have some further discussion and go back to council.
Yeah, no. Mr. Town Administrator, I don't know if, I don't even know if Ian has been talking to the particular contractor on any of that issue.
Yeah, well, this particular contract, like what we have now, that actually ends before you even get to the bridge there where the former cinema is.
Yes.
So if you wanted, I guess,
Yeah.
feedback on that, that would be an additional consulting fee. And I don't even know if we know what, at this point, what we want
No,
done.
we don't.
We did ask a consultant to, design a roundabout, which was done. But, that wouldn't be included in any of these contracts that we have in place now.
No. Anyway, something that we can bring back and have further discussion in Public Works then?
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to committee reports, Public Works, Waste Management, and Community Services. Deputy Mayor Slade.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, you guys, you got a copy of the minutes?
Mike, your mic.
Bell is here again tonight. Anyway, you can go through the minutes. Any question we'd have to ask, myself, Town Administrator, or the Public Works Director. Out of it came, we do have one motion there. Whereas Harrison Associates is currently contracted for consulting services on the Water Street Phase 2 project, and whereas a landscape architect is required to provide services for upgrades to the war memorial, be it resolved to approve a change order for $18,120 plus HST to Harrison Associates contract to provide the landscape architect services. And I do so move.
Can we get a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed. Any questions for the Deputy Mayor? Thank you. Move on to 7B, Recreation, Special Events, Culture and Tourism. Councillor Noel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Attached in the Dropbox there in slide 5, you'll see the minutes from the November 30th meeting. I guess it would be remiss of us not to thank the people for their interest and in trying to save the train. There's for the people who signed a petition, and especially those who corresponded with the town directly. We thank them. All the other minutes are contained there. There's 2 motions that came out of it. And those motions, number 1, resolve to enter into a 3-year contract with Universe Software Incorporated to provide an online registration system at the Carbonear Pool and Recreation Facility at a cost of $1,950 setup fee, an annual cost of $7,250.
Moved by Councillor Noel, seconded by Councillor Doyle.
I just want to confirm that's plus HST, I guess, right?
I'm just reading what's here, sorry.
I do believe from what I saw that
Was it?
that's, and in addition to
I was
that
not there.
would be HST on those prices as well.
Okay, discussion?
I'm just really happy to see that motion there. I think there'll be a lot of happy parents registering for swimming lessons here on out.
Yeah, there was a recognition of the the demands on people's time, and even though there's a cost involved in this, it probably frees up some people and probably allows them to better avail of our facilities. So that's why the committee is bringing this motion forward.
I think it'll also free up some of the manpower at the pool, like, for the employees who were taking hours and hours and hours of their time to do this swimming registration. I mean, it wasn't a good use of our skilled workforce of, our very specialized lifeguards. So it's good news.
Any further discussion? Councillor Snow.
There's a fair annual cost here, $7,250. So if we find out that software isn't right for our town and our pool, we can always look at it down the road. But if it's works fine, does the job, by all means.
Just for your information, it's not referenced there, but that's a 3-year contract.
Okay.
It's written right in the motion.
Oh, is it? Sorry, okay. Yes, it is right.
Well, I guess after 3 years we
Yes, so
revisit
just,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
so you can, but you gotta wait for the 3 years to be up.
If I might add, seeing we've made a new motion here, I think we need to rescind the former one that was made at the last meeting.
Yes, for the lower amount.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed. And now apparently we have to rescind the motion we made at the last meeting.
Motion number that you made at the last meeting was motion number 22-356.
Back to minutes.
Do you know what the motion is? You want to read it out and someone?
We just need to rescind it.
Okay.
That would be to rescind the motion number 356, I think. I think that's what it said. Yeah, 22-356. Because before we were looking at purchasing a different or similar product, but it was only for 1 year and it was a different price and a different company. So that would have to be rescinded in order to do the new one.
Mayor, I move to rescind motion 22356.
Moved by Councillor Noel, seconded by Councillor Sneor. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed.
And secondly, resolve to contract. Sorry, I thought it was on. Didn't get dinged though. Resolve to contract Bay Builders supply and install siding at the back end of the Carbonear pool at a cost of $46,100 plus HST.
Moved by Councillor Noel, seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion?
Just a question, is that for all the back portion of the pool, the whole wall? Because it's a fair substantial amount, so I mean, I would think that is the whole wall? Or is it just a section?
Well, Mr. Mayor, we've been completing sections of this now for the last number of years, and my understanding is that this will complete it. Of course, the gauge of the metal that is being used is of a good quality,
Okay.
so it shouldn't be something we'll have to redo in a short period of time. And as we all know, the cost of materials for construction has greatly increased, so I believe, unfortunately, the director is not here right now,
Okay, so
but
this is the completion of it?
I do believe that.
I think our CAO.
I stand to be corrected.
I can't say for sure, but what we did indicate, like, we were going to do whatever we could with the budget we had annually, so we agreed to budget so much. So if it's not, we'll budget more next year to do another section. But I again, as Councillor Knowles said, I can't say for sure at this point. I don't. But again, the director would have requested, I guess, the quotes within the budget that we had.
And there's not?
So I can't say
No.
for sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed. Any questions for Councillor Noel?
I had one. Sorry. I was kind of concerned, I guess, and I'm hoping I'm misreading it wrong. Under 4A, under new business, it said that there was a discussion and the funding allotted for the accessible playgrounds, and if that could be moved to a splash pad funding. Now, I know we're going through a recreation master plan, and that some recommendations would come from a master plan, but for a community our size to not have an accessible playground, and, other communities in the area of much smaller size, such as North River, to have an accessible playground, and for us to take money from something that you can only use 6 to 8 weeks a year, or take it from an accessible playground, which could be used 12 months of the year, because we just agreed a very short time ago to keep our playgrounds open 12 months of the year, and to move it to something that would be more relatively short term. I have a lot of concerns with any movement of money for that, for that reason, and I would hope that a recommendation would come from the Recreation Master Plan to never take money away from an accessible playground. But I just wanted to know where this discussion came from, and if I read it wrong, or what the details were.
Councillor Seymour?
When we discussed this, we had our EDTO look at background on what the splash pads or splash centers or whatever we're going to have. But we also looked at handicap, special needs playgrounds and everything all combined. So what we did, we said, due to a master plan we get out there, we'll put this money now into where it should be implemented and put into the future cause for what we're going to invest ourselves into. We're not saying we're going to take away from this playground. What we're doing is we're going to put a big effort into putting everything here. So that way then every kid from corner to corner of Carbonear can enjoy an accessible playground, a splash pad, and everything in between when we come down to it. That's what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
And we're not going to take away money from something and invest. We just said we combine the money to put it to where it needs to go, and eventually we'll have enough there, and overall through different things that we're going to go after governments and everything else through, and make sure that we got everything we need, not just the one thing.
Okay. I just want to point out, too, inclusive playgrounds are not for children who have handicaps, and that's not even the correct terminology these days to use the word handicapped. inclusive playgrounds are for everybody. They're for moms with children in wheelchairs. They could be for adults who may have mobility issues, who might be going to a playground with their children. Inclusive playgrounds are just meant so that everyone, regardless of your ability, are able to utilize them.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Every kid from every corner of Carbonear will be able to enjoy it.
And adults.
Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go right ahead.
Chime in on that. And I agree with Councillor Doyle, I mean, and also the chair of the Recreation. You know, I certainly don't want to see, you know, taking from something from one area and putting it into another area. But, you know, we have to have a broader picture. And I think the Recreation Committee now is trying to provide that, and hopefully it'll all be crystal clear in that new piece of work we got coming in regards to the pool and our recreation facility. But I mean, I do want to chime in on a little bit on the splash pad. I know there's a lot of people that actually leave Carbonear to go to Bay Roberts to enjoy that splash pad up there, and I know it's only for a certain period of time. It's important. It's important to our children. It's important to the families and the parents and many people that I've come across over my last 14 or 15 months on council has been speaking to me about it. And so, you know, I would like to see that we could possibly come ahead. But not only the splash pad, but also those inclusive playgrounds.
From attending MNL meetings, there's been a huge discussion on regionalization, as everyone is aware about. And different communities are able to offer different things. And I know Bay Roberts, for example, has a splash pad. Bay Roberts has a swimming pool that's only also open a couple of months of the year, whereas the Carbonear swimming pool is open 12 months of the year. You know, and I think when the Recreation Master Plan is considered and reviewed, I think a regionalized approach to some of these things also needs to come into effect, because at the end of the day, without people moving into our province from other parts of the country and other parts of the world, we don't have a population base to sustain a lot of what we have. And I mean, if you look at the town of Carbonear alone, the residents right now are supporting, you know, our theater, our pool, in addition to all of our like historic buildings such as the work stores, the train station. We own the Princess Sheila building, you know, and it's a lot for the municipality to take on. So I just think that, you know, more regionalized discussions about all of these things need to happen with not only within our own town, but with surrounding towns, so that we can, you know, we can plan together for the development of our entire region.
Councillor Noel, you get the last say here tonight on this topic.
Okay, well, I referenced earlier that previous councils has worked hard trying to maintain the train. I just want to make it very clear to the residents as well, and councillors here this evening, that splash pads and inclusive playgrounds have been discussed in these council chambers for quite some time. And I commend the efforts of the staff and previous councils on trying to get this to come to fruition. Unfortunately, it wasn't there. But I'm hoping that Mr. O'Grady this time around is going to have a bit of money to start the process anyway. And I'm not looking forward to seeing Deputy Mayor Slade on splash pad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll move on to number 7C, Administration and Finance. Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The finance minutes are in your Dropbox, number 6. Not a lot to report, I guess, at this meeting, because most of our discussion at the finance meeting was about the budget. So we've, you know, we'll have more on that, I guess, on Thursday of this week. Just a couple of things, I guess. We've talked about. We're in the process of increasing our property insurance, you know, for replacement costs. You know, we've talked about that before, so we do have, I guess, a quote on that for the remainder of this year. There was some correspondence as well, people looking for donations. The RCMP Make-A-Wish tree, that was a couple of nights ago. We did make a donation to those guys. It did come up, I guess, Mr. Mayor, at the last meeting that we had, I guess, overlooked with the hurricane that hit our west coast of our province. I guess we thought we had made a donation to that, which we didn't. So the committee was asked to have a look at it. So the committee is recommending that we make this as a motion to donate $1,000 to the, I guess, Red Cross towards the Hurricane Fiona Relief Emergency Fund.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Other than that, I guess, as you know, an emergency plan has been released, so we'll look forward to, I guess, rolling that out over the next while as well. Other than that, most of the rest of our meeting was budget review, so if anyone got any questions for me, I can answer them.
Any questions for Councillor O'Grady? Okay, thank you. Let's move on to 7D, Economic Development, Planning and Land Use Development. Councillor Dial.
The Development Committee met on December the 8th. It was a relatively short meeting for us. Usually we have quite a long agenda. We had an update on the Water Street War Memorial project. The Director of Operations had reviewed some correspondence from the Royal Canadian Legion, just with some few concerns they had with some trees and a raised bed and a retaining wall. So they're going back and forth in discussions about that. We had a couple of development applications. And we were, I guess under new business, we have had a small discussion about some town business awards. So during Winter Carnival each year, we recognize our male and female athletes of the year and our, teams of the year and stuff like that. So it was suggested that perhaps not at that time because it's a bit of a busy time in the winter, that at some point during the year we would recognize some of our small businesses like some other municipalities are doing. And that was pretty much it for us. So, yeah, I don't know where they... Oh, okay, I found them. Sorry. No. Do you have them there?
There was a mistake, and I think the town clerk went and put in the... Yes, but we did notice before the meeting that there was a mistake, and the town clerk updated the Dropbox to put in the correct one, but it's not updated mine either. So
my emotions aren't there at all.
yes,
I thought I was supposed to have 3.
There is only one motion that was there.
no, there's 2. There's 2.
There's 2 from the development applications, but I thought there was an additional one as well. About
The one that I have here that's scheduled to be brought forward is resolved to approve the following applications in accordance with applications submitted, Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan and Development Regulations and other conditions as specified to construct a play structure at 127 Valley Road, conditional upon no objections or representations being received from the discretionary use enforcement, and further conditional upon the application being referred to committee and council for further review if objections are received in response to the discretionary notice. And then to subdivide the property or future development of the property will be conditional upon approval of the commercial subdivision and public works and approval of a building permit for development of the property in accordance with municipal regulations and policies.
That's 75 to 85 Columbus Drive.
I was just going to add, I don't see the address here, but it is 75 to 85 Columbus Drive.
Moved by Councillor Dial, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And that was it for us.
Any questions for Councillor Doyle? Thank you. Oh, yes.
This also looks like there's a motion there from Public Works Committee that got missed at the end for sale of a vehicle.
That's under the Public Works Director report.
Oh, he's not here.
Down further, but the motion.
Okay. Sorry.
Who seconded that one?
I think Councillor Noel, you said, no, Councillor O'Grady seconded that. Did you, yeah, Councillor O'Grady?
That's not on the agenda either, Kathy's.
Oh, which one, that one there? There's a motion in number
I'm
M.
having a bit of problems with the Dropbox.
Yeah.
But,
There's two there under M. They deal with the tenders for,
yes, so,
yeah.
So did that come forward then?
well, this,
You can.
Okay, Mr. Mayor.
Deputy Mayor.
Whereas tenders were requested for the sale of the 2012 Jeep Liberty, and whereas tenders received are in good order, be it resolved to award the sale of the 2012 Jeep Liberty to the highest bidder, do a state name?
No,
It's there.
I didn't think we did.
no. Yeah, I read it.
I mean, you can just leave it and just say it's the highest.
To the highest bidder for $1,251, excuse me. And I so do move.
Okay, there it is. Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And there was another part to that too, Mr. Mayor, and I better read it into the motion, if you don't mind. It's just ordinary stuff. Be it further resolved to delegate authority to the CAO to execute the bill of sale.
That's
Standard.
Okay.
just
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is, whereas tenders were requested for sale of the 2008 GMC dump truck, and whereas tenders received are in good order, be it resolved to award the sale of the 2008 GMC dump truck for the sum of $13,582. Be it further resolved to delegate authority to the CAO to execute the bill of sale. And I so do move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like to add too that those will be subject to HST as well, at price plus HST.
Yep. Okay, we'll move on to number 8, reports. No reports tonight. Number 9, finances, operating invoices over $2,000. Deputy Mayor, Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The operating invoices are listed in your Dropbox.
I don't see him there, but,
Oh. I assume they were.
During the agenda.
They're not.
No, they're not actually.
It looks like some people are seeing things and others aren't.
Yeah, the invoice, I have it in,
This one of the trucks.
yeah, it's letter I in your agenda, or is that an L, I?
That's the,
okay, so we're okay.
I got it.
You good? Yeah, it's there, letter I, yeah.
And I got that too.
So resolved to approve operating invoices over $2,000 in the amount of $199,032.81.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed. Before you go on to this one here, that's phase 1.
Water Street Phase 1, yeah.
So Deputy Mayor Slade, you want to take over?
Yeah,
Council Chambers.
Mayor's he's in a conflict.
9B, Water
Nine-
Street.
9B.
Well, if you want to do the other one, no, it makes no difference. We can do that one first. That's under number
Do that one
9B
first,
in the
'cause-
agenda.
Yeah, 'cause some people got to leave for the second one as well.
Okay.
Thank you for your assistance, Councillor Doug.
Probably move these back now, we're all sitting in the same.
So that does move off separately.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do the first one.
Go ahead, Chris.
Resolve to approve capital invoice Water Street Phase 1, Part C, fast signs, invoice number 651-82635, in amount of $14,600.66.
And the motion's made by Councillor O'Grady. Second by Councillor Snow. Question? All those in favour?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion is carried. So the next one is,
So-
Frank, out on the next one.
So the Valley Road now, which section is that? We've got some people probably in conflict there as well.
That's the newest,
Okay.
that's the newest one, phase 4.
So is Frank out on that one too?
So
No.
phase 4 is the one that goes to the overpass.
Well, that's the inside one, isn't it?
In, so,
It's just Councillor
To
Nolan.
where the one that we just did, where
Yes.
that one is to the west, from there to the overpass.
There to the overpass. Yeah.
And me,
And yourself too, or what?
Deputy Mayor, can you take over again?
is the question I was asking, Frank.
We're going to.
Councillor O'Grady? You're ready.
Okay. So resolve to approve capital invoice for Valley Road, Water Street Sewer and Street Upgrades 17-GI-00013, WSP Global Engineering, invoice number GO64063, the amount of $5,042.75.
Okay, the motion has been made by Councillor O'Grady, second by Councillor Snow. Question? All those in favour?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is carried.
That's it, sir.
We're getting our steps tonight. So where are we to now, guys?
That's it.
Okay, perfect. Move on to regulations. There are none. Notices of motion, none. Number 12, new business, International Women's Day Committee.
That's mine. Obviously, the lone woman on council. I'm on a provincial advisory committee called Equal Voice, which promotes initiatives for International Women's Day. In our last election, there was 2 females ran out of, I'm not really sure how many candidates. Some neighboring communities, Bay Roberts, Harbour Grace, don't have any females on council. In Carbonear, we make up 51% of the population, so we do have the majority according to the latest census. Thank you, EDTO, for quick checking that for me today. I almost counted them. I've been a little bit busy this week, but I would have counted them otherwise. So what I am putting forward tonight, I'm making a motion to put forward a International Women's Day Committee that's inclusive, open to whoever would like to join, and that we would recommend some activities and projects in consultation with council and probably with the assistance of our EDTO. To, that we would plan some events for March. I just think it's important, and I think we need to be forward thinking and I certainly know that when my time is done around this table, I would like to see more females run in the next municipal election. And I mean, a lot of you have daughters and nieces and all the rest of it. And I hope that in the next election that there could be also people who identify as non-binary, etc., also consider running. So I think I'd like to be kind of forward thinking, and I would like the permission of council to start with this committee. So that's my motion.
Can we get a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion.
I think Councillor Doyle, that's a great idea, and just a little suggestion. I know we had a contest in the fall for someone to be mayor, a young student to be mayor for a day. Maybe we can have another little contest like that in March month and have it, make sure it's a little girl, right? 'Cause none of us-
That was actually supposed to happen last year during March, but I think it got lost in translation. That was actually supposed to be put forward for a female. I'm not really sure what happened. But yes, that is from the toolbox from the provincial committee. So that is 100% absolutely something that I think that we would recommend.
And we've got, there's 3 more months that can come up with all kinds of creative ideas.
Yes.
I wish you well with that committee, and I'm sure the committee will do a bang-up job.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion passed. 12B, the Locomotive 803 Committee. I believe, was that an email, David?
No, you emailed it to me.
Okay. Well, I can't read that, okay? I can't read that, as a motion.
No, but I mean, you were going to, I guess, suggest committee and the membership. I guess somebody can make a motion.
But that had to be,
agree
yeah.
with it.
Can I pass it to the Deputy Mayor? I guess he could do that.
You can,
Yeah.
I can do it for you too, it's up to you.
Oh, it's up to you. Okay, you want to read it out? Well, I guess it'll come from the chair of, no? Yes, okay.
No, I guess the mayor is chairing, I guess, you just mentioned for me to just reference this. With respect to the Locomotive 803, is proposing that a committee be put in place to, to basically, I guess, work on that committee itself. I guess the way it put it, to seek ways to secure funding to reinstate the Locomotive 803 to its former glory. And he's proposing the following for council's consideration to sit on that committee. Councillor Malcolm Seymour as the chair of the Recreation Committee. Deputy Mayor Sam Slade, because he is the Heritage Society liaison. Our EDTO, Carrie Abbott, where, again, she'd be helpful, I guess, with respect to funding. And Heritage Chair Keith Thomas provide input from the Heritage Society. And on all committees of council, the rules of procedure identifies that the CAO and the mayor are ex officio members anyway on all committees. So he's proposing that would be the membership of this particular committee. And as you know, the rules of procedure identifies that council would, is supposed to do that appointment. So I guess there would have to be a motion to make that appointment by a councillor.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Snow. Can we get a seconder for that? Go fighting over it. Seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor? Oh,
Okay, no, I just should point out as well, typically when you set up any committee, it is recommended that you establish terms of reference. So like everybody knows, or the committee knows what their function is and what they're expected to do. So it probably wouldn't hurt to kind of get that established so everybody knows what the role is, I guess, of any of your committees. We have them in place for our standing committees. They were all done. But now the only thing I should mention.
I don't know about the time frame.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mentioned to the mayor on this earlier. I recommended that you actually do the motion in January, because your rules of procedure says that all these special committees are there for a maximum of 1 year, and they all are disbanded at the end of December. So, you can do it now, but you'd have to do it again in January. So you can.
Just add effective.
Yes, that would be the best way.
Well, the only thing about, the reason why I wanted to get it into 2022 is that for businesses that may want to contribute, if they may be able to get it in for 2022, and then they may be able to contribute again in 2023. I know there's a time frame of overlapping that you can.
But now, any donations wouldn't be made to the committee anyway.
No.
It would be to the town.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would,
Mhm.
I think the purpose of the committee would be not to take donations, but to actually, I guess, work on this, solicit, or, again, that's the nice thing about having a terms of reference, so you know exactly what the role will be. But like I said, as the town clerk indicated, probably add that would be effective January 1. Yeah.
So would this committee meet prior to January 1st? Or? I know some are anxious to get on there to get whatever they got to do to get the term of reference.
You could have an informal meeting today, or a little get together. I don't know, we won't have a formal meeting. So the committee would have to be struck, right, this year?
Yeah, and again, I don't know, like I said, you're getting close to Christmas, whether, you think you would get a lot done. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Term for reference would have to be determined first.
Yeah. Councillor No?
Mr. Mayor, the CAO just pointed out that if you put a committee in place now, you'll have to renew it again in January. So if the committee wanted to get some work done now, if there's that much of an interest there, I guess we could reestablish the committee, could we not, in January again? So
Yeah.
sort of meets everybody's best interest in.
Yeah. It'd be only 2 times. It'd be this time and then,
Yeah, it's only takes a minute.
yeah. So you clear on what we're voting on? Any further discussion? Council,
You come back to the first meeting in January with your terms of reference, and we can vote on the committee, and you just say that. Yeah, then come back with your terms of reference the next meeting, and our first meeting in the new year, and we reaffirm.
yeah, after the 2022 year in, yeah. Okay. All in favor? Contrary minded? Motion passed. Okay, our next meeting is, we're going to call a special meeting on Thursday. Are we able to have the regular meeting as well then, or do you not want to do that, or? Because we have to come back again for another meeting.
But I was thinking that if you're looking at it, if you're looking at your schedule, that the next, if you're not going, like the regularly scheduled council meeting would be on the 27th of December.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you haven't had council meetings in between the Christmas and New Year's break. So the next full-fledged council meeting would be scheduled for Tuesday, January the 10th, 2023. But you are planning on having a special meeting this Thursday. But
Yes.
I don't see there being much else on the agenda in a 2-day period besides the budget.
Yeah. But are we obligated to have 2 meetings? No?
You're obligated to have one.
Okay,
per
well,
month.
that's great. Perfect. I'm fine with that. All right, so our next, I guess we're going to have a special meeting, to have a motion to make a special meeting, or we just call it as we see?
You can call it.
Okay,
I think everybody's confirmed their availability.
yeah, okay. Just want to run over a couple of things here now. We're okay? Everything is fine with the meetings and all that? Okay. I just want to give a shout out to our... So our special meeting is to take place this Thursday at 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock, yeah. Was it? Which is, was 3:40? 4 o'clock, 10 to 5, 10 to 4? 4 o'clock on Thursday, and that'll be to deliver the budget and give Councillor O'Grady time to get a pair of shoes. This past Sunday, the Carbonear Volunteer Fire Department put off their 69th Santa Claus Parade, well attended, float-wise and by the people in the community on the streets and that, which is it's great. There's lots on the go. There's too many to name, so if anyone wanted to go in and look under carbonear.ca, you'll see a calendar there with a list of all the events that are taking place. Tonight is the second show for the Celtic Christmas at the theatre, which is full house again. The 17th of December is the Janny's Parade. It's back again after a 2-year hiatus. We had our first annual Bright Night event, and which was well established, and I gave credit there also to our EDTO. She laughs. And like I said, there's lots of other events there. Just go under carbonear.ca and you'll have a list of everything that's going on there. Without further ado, would Deputy Mayor like to make a move by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Noel. Meeting adjourned.